trusty can of tomato can be transformed into so many things. Here I'm going to be using the can of tomatoes to make a delicious chutney. This is my grand's chutney. She's got many different varieties, but I always use her traditional spice mix. Yes, you can use fresh tomatoes, but canned tomatoes work just as well. These are whole peeled tomatoes, and I'm adding the can and the juice into the pot. I'll also add some capsicum, one large capsicum that I'm going to cut into small pieces. And when I say small pieces, just a dice. Now for my chutney, I'm using a combination of the tomatoes, capsicum, onion and apple. But there are so many different varieties. You can add some pears to it if you like, even carrots work nicely. 2 onions that have been roughly chopped and the apple for some sweetness. This is 2 Granny Smith apples. Now for ground spices, cayenne pepper and ground ginger. And I like to put them in at the beginning so they really intensify throughout the cooking process, along with some clove, cinnamon and nutmeg. About 1/4 cup of sultanas. You could also use raisins. And this is a preserve, so we do need those preservation agents, which is brown sugar, 1 whole cup, and 1/2 cup of cider vinegar. And to balance the whole thing out, 2 teaspoons of salt. Seems like a lot, but it is a preserve and we do need to season quite a lot of vegetables. Now the heat goes on. We'll give this a good mix to combine everything. Now this is going to cook for about 30 to 35 minutes or until all of those vegetables have softened and it's reduced quite a lot. Oh. Only you could smell this right now. There's nothing like the smell of homemade chutney. I love all those spices that waft from this pot. I'm just going to give it one last turn. I want to show you the thickness of this. This is what we're looking for. And have a look at those raisins. See how they've puffed up and plumped up? They are perfect. All right. While it's still hot, this is when you add it to the jars. It's a good idea to sterilize your jars. You can do that by just washing them in hot soapy water and then drying them out in the oven. Don't forget to take off the rubber seal when you put them in the oven because you don't want that to melt. And then, using a ladle, carefully add the thick, luscious chutney into our jar. And then we seal it. And then while it's still hot, flip it upside down so the steam rises, which creates a suction and therefore no air gets into the jar, which means this is going to last a little longer. Once you've opened them, leave them in the fridge and they'll last a while. And this last one I'm going to taste now. Of course, the longer you leave them, the better they taste, but I'm going to dig in. And you can serve this with sausages, you can serve it on sandwiches. My favourite way is with a little bit of blue cheese and a little bit of Grand's chutney. That is a seriously good flavour combination.